minds together to share with you regarding information regarding AI-based EdTech tools. So this is Dr. Vishal Varia, leader for GEG Ahmedabad, and together with me we have Techie Singh, leader of GEG Agra, and Seema Junera ma'am, leader for GEG Nashik. And we are glad to have Shweta Tanwar and Piyush Sharma from Neo AI to share with us the technology. So before we start, I will ask Krish sir to start the recording, and this session will be recorded so that everyone please be aware of it. Yes, Krish sir. Okay, sir.
Yeah, recording is started.
Okay.
All right, over to you, Piyush.
Yeah, thank you, Vishal sir, for having a brief introduction for us, and it is lovely to be with the GEG group. And I welcome everyone, every teacher who has joined us from different parts of the countries and different parts of the world. And Neo team is very much excited to present you this particular session today. We have already with us from GEG Nashik, Seema Junare. We have Dr. Vishal Varia from Ahmedabad. We have KK Singh with us from GEG Agra. We have Shweta Tanwar, our EdTech demand expert, and Krish Raj, our AI expert. And today we talk about personalized formative activities powered by GEG and Neo AI. Shweta, I would love for you to start with the concept of new AI, what we are doing, and what excited for the teachers and overall, education in this particular product. Would love to know more about it.
All right. Thank you so much, Piyush. And again, thank you everyone for having us here and everyone for joining today. It's such a pleasure. So I think I'll start by sharing, very typical scene from conventional classrooms that we all might resonate very strongly with. So here we have a teacher and we have students, teachers trying really hard to get through a concept, and then there are students thinking that okay, anyway I can learn this later online, or I just learned this yesterday in my coaching class, and then they are having some discussion among themselves, and did you try this specific tool, chat gpt? It's awesome, it just gives everything, whatever you ask, you get the answers. So does this sound familiar? Does it ring a bell? I think lot of, if you do, then just give a kind of thumbs up in the chat and we will know. But yeah, I think it does, because I think all of you who have registered for the event filled a little form, and from that we have this data point that the most troubling pain point for teachers today is to grab attention in the class. Like almost 360 teachers have specified as the topmost pain point today. And therefore, in this presentation, we will be kind of deep diving into, why this is happening and why this problem is getting more grave by every day. By every passing section or by every passing batch, we see that it's getting harder and harder to have their attention. So I think one very big contributor to this problem is digitization, or the advent of internet and smartphones, because of which today there are so many alternative learning sources that the students have, unlike a few years back when school and the school teacher was the whole soul. Whatever it's being taught in the school, the student learns that, goes home, revises that, come to school, and there's no confusion. But today there are so many sources. There are online coachings, YouTube, chat gpt, byju's and academy, and everything is kind of pulling the student apart in different directions, resulting in the information overload, information fatigue, complexity, and instability within the student, right? So we call this a three-body problem, wherein there are multiple forces pulling apart the student. And what impact does it have in a classroom environment for a teacher I think that this graph will explain you. If you can look at it. So pre-digitization, this is the pre-digitization era when there was no internet, no alternative sources. So already there was a diverse group of students, and it was already a little difficult for a teacher to cater to that diverse set of students in a class. Like, they have different skills and aptitude and everything. But now, after the advent of digitization, because every student is also learning things from different sources, they are very very far apart when it comes to their learning state. So the standard deviation of a student's learning state is amplified post digitization, and for a teacher now it means that it's more and more difficult to cater to everyone's needs, because everyone is just so far apart when it comes to their learning state, right? And what's the impact on the student? Because they are also being pulled apart into so many directions. There is like academic distress, there's depression, anxiety, um, uh, which is why even government has made it mandatory to have a clinical psychologist in every school for student counseling. And and the impact is so grave and the scale is so high. Like, these are some of the stats, and these are also, like, we all know that stats that go in government organizations, they are like underrated. Just last year to 2023, more than 13,000 school students have committed suicide. More than 51% of the students are suffering from symptoms like depression, anxiety, social withdrawal, right? And this is the current status quo. A frustrated and helpless teacher who wants to grab attention but has no clue how to, because the students are not listening, confused and stressed students, and of course the managements and parent who are like, okay, we are investing so much time, so much money, and yet we are not seeing any outcomes. So this, I think, is kind of sets the theme for today's discussion, that what problem we are going to discuss, and what is the current kind of a status quo.
Thank you, Shweta, for telling us this. And I have a question, and actually to our experts here. I would love to ask my question to KK Singh, GEG Agra. That what, sir, what do you think are the root cause of this issue right now? Like, why there's so much academic pressure on students? Why teachers are so much overloaded with the work and assignment, these things? So, like, what do you think are the root causes for this? Is that like education policy is the is to blame here, or the management is to blame here, or the parents or the student has to blame here? You're on mute, sir.
I think parents are the key persons who are responsible for all this, because every parent expects from their children that you should do well, you should crack IIT, JEE, you should crack NEET as well. So there is a lot of pressure in students' mind that I have to crack somehow. So this is a pressure from parent side and peer pressure also. Like someone has cracked, but I could not. So this kind of pressure leads towards this, such kind of problems like suicide and all of.
Okay. Okay.
You.
Thank you so much. And I think like how we use different things. Like in a pressure cooker itself, you can listen to the CT and you can see, okay, this is the time you have to switch off your gas. But for a student, there's no pressure, no CD or no whistle like this. So like, where the relevant data that we can actually see, okay, this student is on pressure, this student is getting the subject well, this student is not getting well. I would love to ask my next question to Miss Seema here. What do you think? Like, we have relevant data on students, how they are performing in the classes, to actually determine what pressure or how well they are performing in their academics currently.
Yeah, we do have something as analysis, what we do, right? Because of the analysis, what happens is we come to know who are the low performers. And once we come to know the low performers, the teachers emphasizes on those students in the last one and give more focus on those students. So in this case, we can avoid it.
Okay. Okay, Shweta, do you want to add anything what Sweta and what KK sir has added here?
So yeah, like KK sir rightly pointed out, as far as the root cause is concerned, and not just KK sir, I think you've got your answer from the whole teacher community. Like the biggest problem today is grabbing the attention of the student. Like if the student is not listening in the first place, then what a teacher can do? Like a teacher can only get through once they have the attention of the student. And I think I had a session with KK sir earlier, KK sir, Varia sir, Seema ma'am. In that session I asked them also this question direct, that what do you think is the biggest problem today? And there also this thing came up again, grabbing the student attention. And because we don't have the attention, it's really hard to know that you know where exactly they are struggling, what concepts are they struggling in, where they are. So we don't have any idea.
बजट तो बाहर जा रही है ये है वो है
Sorry.
No, I think it's
Shweta, there are two hands raised, Nupur Dubey and Arvinder Kaur.
Okay.
Nupur Dubey, do you have any question? Nupur Dubey and Arvinder Kaur, please go ahead.
I don't think, sir, there is any question. It's just done by mistake. You can lower the hand for
Okay,
your...
maybe we can have a Q&A session towards the end.
Yes.
I would request everyone to save their questions for the maybe for 15 minutes.
We can have the Q&A session at the end.
Yeah. So yes, I think one main problem is that we don't know the learning state of the students today. And some of the conventional ways that is being followed in most of the schools today is periodic assessments, weekly tests, maybe a monthly test, quarterly exams. So that is how most of the schools kind of try to know that, okay, where their students are standing and where they need more help. And at the end of such periodic assessments, remedial class schedule is followed, where the students who do not score really well are then supplemented with some additional classes. So it kind of bridges the learning gap. But yeah, I think that there are still some challenges in this system, and I would like our Varia sir only to highlight from his experience that. So, Varia sir, do you think these periodic assessments have been sufficing in terms of getting you the transparency that where your students stand as far as their learning state is concerned?
Yeah. So far as the assessment is concerned, if the assessment is fair, if the students have appeared in a proper manner, to an extent we can come to know about the situation or the status of the student. But what we can come to know is that whether the student has performed well or whether he has not performed well. What is missing is that, if suppose there's a test of say 30 marks and there's a periodic assessment of such tests, we can come to know that with 30 marks, this particular concept is weak. But
Right.
if we are taking examinations, we cannot be in a proper judgment whether the student is not able to understand or whether he's not able to write.
Right.
So,
Right.
whether the representation is an issue or whether it's a grasping is an issue, we cannot come to the next step. So it's a pen or paper-based test. So basically, we have limitations for those kind of assessments. And
Right.
yes, I think assessments is area something where we should be focusing because with IT, many things have improved. Information technology and entering into the field of education, like many things have improved. I think substantially grasping has improved, but
Right.
the representation is asked in a form of writing answers, right? Maybe it's an OMR sheet, maybe it's a detailed answer thing. So there somewhere we cannot actually assess where the weak areas are.
Right. So, like Varya sir pointed out, I think that granular analysis of why the student is not able to score well, that kind of gets missed in the conventional periodic assessments. And I think one very important point that I would like to add here, and I think most of our teachers would agree, that no matter how hard we try, these periodic assessments they come once in a while, and because of that, what happens is, if today I have taught a concept, and today I do not have any clarity whether my students have understood it or not, and in next class, if I have to move on with some another concept which uses the foundation of the previous concept, right? It kind of builds on, especially in analytical subjects like physics, maths. Concepts build on each other. So if today I've taught something and I don't have, that very day a feedback loop, and there are students who have missed on, grasping this concept, then all my next classes are a waste of time and effort for me and my students. That is kind of the biggest loophole of the conventional periodic assessments, wherein, I keep teaching as an educator, I keep teaching on for a week, or maybe quarter, few months, and at the end of that I finally get to know, oh, so these are the concepts my students never got, and these are the concepts I taught in the first week. So now what? Now I have to go all the way back and I have to teach that first concept again. And then I have to rebuild all the concepts that needed the very first concept. So I think that is one very big loophole. And which is why now NEP and most of the, education organizations are putting so much emphasis on continuous assessments, formative assessments. And another big flaw of the conventional periodic assessments today is that it's a standard set of question paper. So today, if I want to assess my class as a teacher, I'll make a set of question paper, which will have some easy, some difficult, and some, tough questions. And this would cater to the average student of my class. But what about the student who is, really weak, like little below average? So if that person gets this question paper, he'll be demotivated and broken because it's very difficult for him. And if I give the same question paper to my topper, he will feel like, oh, okay, like it's not challenging enough, and that person will also lose interest. So I'm able to cater only to a specific set with the standard set of questions, and the below average and above average students, it's unfair for them. It's not the right tool for them. So personalization also kind of gets missed in these kind of assessments, right? So ideal solution would be a personalized way of, assessing every student based on what are their strengths and weaknesses. If someone is like already good at maths, then I don't have to assess them too much on maths. Maybe I will assess them more on the, reading or writing skills. So that personalization is important, and having that on a continuous or daily basis, so that a tight feedback loop is there between me and my students, so I can take the remedial actions on day-to-day basis, and I don't have to wait for a set of, days or a whole period to take those remedial actions. So ideally, I think this is what all the schools, all the teachers, and our government also wants to implement. But yes, obviously, it's difficult when it comes to implementation. I think some of the major challenges, teachers would know that why it's not being implemented. But before that, I just want to kind of understand from the audience here that is this kind of assessment routine followed in their schools? A way of, doing personalized and daily basis of assessments after every topic is being taught or after every class is being done. So are they getting that feedback on day-to-day basis? I think you can give a kind of yes or no in the chat if this is being followed in your school along with your school name, and we'll kind of look at some of the challenges that.
Ma'am, may I say something?
Yes, please go ahead.
Actually, ma'am, what we plan for the assessments, what happens,
Mhm.
since it's continuous, and so that is why we have a set of assessments which are already planned. But then
Right.
there are 8 different teachers who are teaching the same thing. And
Yeah.
probably each one has been teaching it with a different way of explaining it and all that. So then for generalized assessment to be conducted by all the classes,
Mhm.
which is set paper, It does not bring out the right kind of a assessment result. I personally believe now.
Right. Because with set you can only do some level of customization and maybe shuffle the questions, but it is not again learner centric, it's not a student centric, it's not taking into account that what a specific student needs to be assessed on, right? So that always is a missing piece. And for its for valid reasons, like it's actually practically impossible for a teacher to sit and on daily basis create different set of questions for each of the student in the class. It's just not possible, given that teachers are already burdened with so many admin tasks, like they have to create the questions, it's so much time consuming and obviously resource intensive. Every day you have to get the sheets, you have to give them to students, you have to conduct the that kind of environment where they can take the assessment. So there are a lot of challenges associated to this ideal solution, which is why when it comes to implementation, it's not there anywhere. It's only in kind of theory, kind of dream world where this would be a very good thing to have. But with the NEO, we have figured a way to implement this in schools, and that too in a very seamless and a smooth manner. So now that we have the power of AI, and we have that kind of technology that can bring true personalization into school ecosystem, this is now possible. So how it is possible? We have built a proprietary personalization engine that kind of takes into more than 50 parameters of a student. So right from their foundation skills like reading, writing, comprehension, basic arithmetic, their IQ, aptitude, a student's learning and forgetting curve, the student's competency across different subjects, and within the subtopics of those subjects. So it really takes into account a lot of those parameters for each student, and then it passes on a prompt to our language learning model, our LLM, which is trained on the certain curriculum. So as of now we have trained our model on CBSE curriculum. So this LLM engine then curates a personalized activity for each student, which is personalized for that student. And the beauty of this whole system is that it's only short 10, 12 minutes activity. So we are not asking the students here to kind of attempt 100 questions, and then and then we would diagnose that, okay, what are the areas where he is weak. We save that effort of a student, we save their time, and we in very very less number of questions and with very less amount of time of the student, we do a very deep diagnosis of that what are those choke points of that student where he is struggling, where he needs help. And by clearing those choke points, he can actually advance to other topics. So those little, like you can say these as micro activities, micro personalized activities, then it is sent to student. And when the student takes that activity, the learning state of the student is updated in the learning engine. And with every iteration, this learning engine gets more precise, more precise. So the recommendation that this engine gives to the students gets better by every activity that they take. So this is what we developed a few months earlier. And this was the impact that we saw by, from the students who actually used this product. So we can clearly see the correlation between the number of sessions that the student took or the number of activities that the student took and the improvement in their marks. So students who took more activities, more of these personalized activities, clearly showed a huge improvement in their performance. And this is not, so this is our data, but I think there are a lot of trials that have been done in other countries, including Singapore and South Korea, where they have also concluded that they have observed up to 48 or 38% improvement in the academic score of the students, where this personalization is implemented by using the technology that we have used. It's basically neural network technology, the underlying technology. And even the students kind of felt the relevance, because whatever they had to do earlier, it would take like 2 hours, but with this new personalization method, it would only take half an hour for them to quickly, review that, okay, where they are lacking, and then focus on those areas. So it kind of saves the students time. It gives them more time for, personality development. They can talk to their friends, and they can focus on vocational skills. And with that saved effort, they get even better performance. So these are some of the reviews that our students gave. It was on Play Store. Our app was 4.8 rated. And this is the feedback from some of the teachers who helped us, distribute it to their students. So this was launched in 2024 January, and within a span of 2 months, we saw an increase from 50 students to 2,000 students who were using our app. And here I would like to read out one specific feedback from one of our teachers who helped us, in distributing this student app. So she says, my students have been using the app for revision, and I can see improvement in their class test. A teacher interface to send out tests and measure the results objectively would be great add-on. So we started getting these kind of requests from the teachers that, okay, you're doing a great job by personalizing the whole thing for students. You give personalized activities, you give personalized revision. But if you could give this input to the teacher also, or to their mentor who is helping them in the studies, we would be in a better place to, take some remedial actions, and we would be able to help the student better. And keeping this feedback in mind, whatever we were doing here, in this Neo version 1, we have now introduced place for teacher, where teacher now becomes the pilot of this whole engine. So teacher becomes the centerpiece, and now teacher is the one who kind of, triggers this whole cycle or the iteration. So teacher assigns an activity, and now this AI engine, again, based on those 50 plus parameters, gives a prompt to LLM engine, which creates a personalized activity for student. They take the activity, the learning state is updated, and the stats are shared with the teacher, so that teacher can then take the remedial action on the student. Right? So this is the latest version of Neo, wherein we have a student interface as well as a teacher interface. And now why it works? Because one, it gives the personalized pedagogy recommendation to teachers. So there are a lot of ways of, going about teaching a lesson, but it actually depends on what set of students you are catering, or how they are in their learning state at that point of time. And with that feedback, the teacher is in a better place to plan their lessons. And because of the hyper personalization, obviously we have it's from first principle, we know that personalization would help students, and we have already seen that this kind of technology led implementation of personalization has shown results in other parts of the globe. So it's a proven method. And by knowing exactly that where students are lacking, the teachers are also in a better place to engage the class. They know exactly that, okay, my students are struggling here, so they will start the class with exactly that topic. And then the students will hear. People will hear what they actually want to hear. And obviously this is one very important benefit, by that we kind of save hours of effort of a teacher. Like, they don't have to sit down and curate the questions for every student. They don't have to evaluate it, grade it, analyze it. They just have to send them, after teaching every topic, they just have to send an activity, and automatically personalized activities are sent to all the students, and they simply have to look at the reports. And with this tool, we are not just helping the teachers grab attention, we are actually helping them to create the questions. And these are the competency based questions based on Bloom's taxonomy, like how the latest RNEP suggests. competency-based questions, case-based question, assertion reason-based questions. And by feeding back the learning state of the students to the teachers, by giving them the pedagogy tips, it also helps in creating effective lesson plans. Homework and assignments is obviously taken care of with those personalized activities, and evaluation is also automated. So all the top 5 pain points of the teachers that emerged from that little survey that you all filled while registering for this session, it kind of helps in all of those pain points. And the final benefit for the all the stakeholders is teachers are in a better place, they're more informed, they have more time to focus on teaching and not doing the non-teaching and admin tasks. Students learning outcomes increases, and they have more time to their self, less stress, less wasted effort. And the management is also more satisfied, parents are more satisfied because of the transparency that they get. So here I would like to take a little pause and maybe address any questions that anyone might have around the product concept, NEO's concept. And then maybe we can have a glimpse at the product. So do we have any questions?
I don't see any question in the chat, but it's only like people are agreeing with the concept that it's not easy for a teacher to keep on assessing this child on regular basis. That's the main issue that they are facing, and we very much resonate what you said. You rightly actually named the issues the teachers are facing, because on day-to-day basis we cannot be assessing the students. That also on regular basis, and we do have apart from assessments, got plenty of work like creating of the material, sharing of the deliverables, right, and doing some school duty as well. So if any of such tool is there, okay, where it's easy for him, on the other side, it's also disheartening for a child to be assessed all the time. You cannot be assessing a child for all the time. उसके साथ हर रोज तो एग्जाम नहीं ले सकते आप. So the question, I mean, they will get discouraged. So we need something which, on a regular basis, like even if a very stray question is there, if they take it as an assessment, or if it is taken up as an assessment, then also it will be advisable. So somewhere, I think you have very much nailed or pinpoint the area where teachers need this kind of a tool to assess the child. And over and above this, having a personalized assessment is not easy. I mean, rather not possible. We have different categories of students in front of us. We cannot be creating different set of question papers for different categories of students. Right? Howard Gardner suggested 8 types of intelligence. How can we be creating 8 different types of question paper for one single class? So that's practically impossible. So somewhere, I think AI, if at all, is helping the teachers. It could be a boon to the teachers to identify the weak areas of students and maybe help out with some remedial sessions later on. So we are just awaiting what exactly this tool is and how we can be making use of it for our children.
Sure. So I think for everyone, I would now give a little glimpse of the tool, that how AI can be leveraged to carry out these personalized little activities for students, and so they get that feedback on day-to-day basis. So we have taken into consideration. So while we were doing the survey, we went to a lot of schools and we interacted with a lot of teachers, and we understood that not all the teachers have laptops, not all the teachers are very tech savvy. So taking all of that into consideration, we have ensured that using this app should not be an additional burden for the teacher, that okay, now I have to learn a new thing. So it was our imperative, it was our first focus, that it should be so easy and so intuitive to use that it should not be an added effort for teacher. And therefore we have only like 3 simple tasks that a teacher can do in this tool, and that is assigning an activity, viewing a report, viewing the activity report, and viewing the class report. But these three things are so powerful that, sometimes we underestimate the power of simple things, but it is one of those simple things. And now I'm going to show you that how it can impact the classroom performance. So one of those activities that I mentioned, assigning an activity. So here teacher can kind of, or I think it would be better if I just quickly give a live demo of this. And then maybe later we can come to these screenshots if we want to have a detailed discussion. So just let me know if my screen is visible, this video is visible.
Yes, Shweta.
Yeah.
Yes,
All right.
ma'am.
Okay. All right. So this is the home page, apps home page for the teachers. Suppose you are a physics teacher and you are teaching in a couple of sections A and B, and now you want to assign an activity to one of your class. So you can just simply go to the class, and then you can see the chapters. Here all the physics chapters would be listed already beforehand. You can go into one of the chapters. You can even select the subtopic or sub concepts that you want your students to be assessed upon. So let's say we take top 3, and then you can choose the type of activity. Revision activity, it's a standard set of quick notes that go along with the MCQs, interspersed MCQs. And in practice questions, you can choose it to be adaptive, that we discussed, personalized for each student. But you can also send out a non-adaptive, which is the standard set of questions where you can choose the difficulty level, let's say easy, and then you can review those. And then you can see all the correct answers. And once you are satisfied, you can publish that activity. As simple as that. Doesn't even take a minute. And once you have published an activity, this is the student app. And here, all the activities that you send would come on the top section of the student app. They can go there. Here is an expiry time of the activity. The student takes the activity. The initial questions are generally very simple. So as I mentioned, it follows the Bloom's taxonomy. We just check whether the student knows the concepts and definitions, and gradually the level increases. And even the number of questions, if it is a adaptive one, it varies from a student to student. If the focus is more, then they get more questions. If the focus is less, then the number of questions are even less. Once the student completes the activity, they get to see a high level stat, how they stand against other students. They can review their activity, see the right answers. And once they have taken the activity here, the teacher gets to see all that performance back in the teacher app. So here we will see a normal report, activity report, wherein you can see a high level summary of what was the average score, what was the maximum and minimum score in that activity. But this section is very important. This is the area from where you get to know that, okay, what were those concepts wherein most of my students struggled? What kind of questions they got wrong, right? So those concepts get tagged here. Say sign convention, lens formula, and magnification were some of those concepts. And then in the performance here, the preparedness is actually derived from the competency level of the questions. If they were able to answer mostly just the remembering and understanding kind of questions, then it would be less. But if they were able to answer even the higher order questions, then it would be more. So you get to know the concepts where they are not faring well, their comprehension level. You also get to see how is the distribution of the class in different, parts of the marks, and some specific students who might need certain special attention, or some good students who might, benefit from some little appreciation or encouragement. So that's the activity report. Apart from that, you also get to see a high level class report, wherein you get to see the data from all the activities done so far. So for example, here in class 10A physics, you can see that, okay, how much syllabus is being covered, what is the overall preparedness in that specific chapter or a course, how many activities assigned so far, average score, the frequency of activities. And again, at high level, what are some of the areas of growth where you should focus on? Like so far, how your students have been faring in, different concepts. And again, a distribution and week on week progress growth of your students. So all this data is available on your fingertips without you doing anything, without you working on the questions, without you grading them, without you analyzing them. So the AI engine does that for you, all the grunt work. And all a teacher has to do is just send an activity, which takes hardly like 30-40 seconds, and then view the report next day. And they can do it on everyday basis. Like they have taught a topic, and then they can just choose those subtopics and send out that activity. So this was a quick demo on the activity part. I would also like to show a little glimpse of the revision type of activity. So this was a practice quiz activity. I think earlier we also saw that there were two type of activities that a teacher can assign. It could either be a quiz, or it could be either be a revision. So this is again the revision part of the student tab. And how a typical revision activity goes is, say these are actually, this is the interface wherein every island is one subject, and every tile in that island is for a chapter. So a student can go into any of the subject, let's say life process revision notes. How they will go is, a student can, so it's in a Q&A format. So there would be a question and then little notes on that. And then it is immediately followed by some MCQs to increase the cognitive load and reinforce the important points. So like a digestive system, notes on the digestive system, immediately followed by some questions to reinforce the important points of that concept. So this was a quick demo of two type of activities that a teacher can send. And here we have a glimpse of those reports and screenshots. I think that was a quick demo. Here I would pause for, if anyone has any questions, or if anyone has anything to share.
Yeah, I think Manju Yadav ma'am had raised her hand. Manju ma'am, do you have any query? Manju Yadav ma'am?
So I think it's my mistake.
Must be.
Okay.
Must be. Yes, sir.
So the next step comes, Shweta. It's how teachers can use this tool. I mean, what they will download, how they will download.
Right. So if the teachers want to experience this and try it out, there have to be a few students associated to it, right? They need to be able to send activities to a set of students, and then that whole feedback loop will form. For any teacher, like for next few days, we will be giving the beta version of this app absolutely free for the teachers, and whoever is interested, they can scan this QR code, which is for a short Google form, and they can register for this tool, and our team will reach out to them. They will help them create an account and get us started with their students. I will also share the link of this in the chat. Apart from that, we have a WhatsApp community as well. I will share the link of both. So whoever wants to stay connected and maybe learn a little more about how this tool works and needs assistance, they can also join our WhatsApp community. We'll share the beta register, or we'll share the link of the app in our community as well. And we will definitely reach out to those who fill the beta registration form. Seeing
Manju Yadav still has some query.
please, ma'am, all here to address any query that you might have.
Manju ma'am,
No,
I
I
think
think,
sick.
yeah, Anuradha ma'am has a question. Are these daily based activities? And
Yeah. So you can actually send out the activities depending on when you are completing a milestone, or when you are kind of have covered a subtopic. You can give it like once in 2 days, once in 3 days, whenever you have completed topic or subtopic.
Shweta, please share the link of the form as audience is acting.
Yes, I'm just taking that form link. It's like,
Shweta, click on send and you can.
Click on the send button.
yeah, right, it's here.
Second tab,
Thank you.
short URL. Copy.
Copy.
Copy and then paste it in the chat box.
Share it here in
Chat
the
box.
chat. Yes, so I have shared the form link here for the beta registration of this app. If you want to experience it, please fill this form and our team will reach out to you and help you create an account. And apart from that, I will, at the kind of end of that, or I'll also share WhatsApp, our WhatsApp community link in the chat itself. So you all can stay connected, and if you need any assistance, we can help you from there. Is there a way to pin this here, right? I'll just pin this message, the form one, and I have also shared our WhatsApp community link. We already have more than 100 teachers in our community, and you can also join this. It's specifically focused on how AI can enable the teachers in making the classroom learning more impactful, and in enhancing their learning outcomes. We're planning to do regular workshops around this, around building technology competencies for teachers. And if you would like to be a part of it, then you can join the community, and we'll stay connected there.
So, KK sir, shall we also be sharing the feedback form link now?
Yes, sir, you can. Please.
So, is there anything else we are supposed to are supposed to share with the audience at this point? Are we remaining with anything?
So no, I think beta registration for the app and a WhatsApp community, those are two things that we can share. Apart from that, yes, there is one more thing that we can have, like, for our teachers, whoever have joined, as a token of gratitude. We still have people joining. It's almost time to end.
So I think we are almost on the conclusion of this meet. KK sir, I would be requesting you to have a follow-up email after the session, maybe tomorrow, with the presentation slide deck of what Shweta has displayed today, the feedback form link, and let's email them to the participants tomorrow. The participants who will be filling up the feedback form will be receiving a certificate. These certificates are auto-generated, so please be mindful of how you are entering the data in the feedback form, like your email address or your name. It will appear the same way as you enter in the feedback form. So, like whether it's capital letters or small letters, the way you wish to get it appearing on the certificate, you should be writing the name accordingly. And please be very, very mindful for the email address, because we have so many emails bounce back when the certificates are generated. So this is an auto process. There is no manual intervention. Based on the inputs given by the candidates, you will be receiving certificates. But this time we'll be issuing the certificates on after 2 days, but probably on Monday we could be expecting your certificates. Till then, we should be waiting for the feedback form registrations.
So, as a concluding remark, Dr. Varia, KK sir, Seema ma'am, I would love to have your feedback right here, right now, while everyone is here. Like, what do you think? How the Neo could help? You saw the demo, so what's your take on it?
Yeah.
We have already, filled your Google form, and so why we have filled, better what is the intention behind it, because we review your app, then definitely this app will be forwarded to management, and management later then decide what step should they take off.
Got it. Got it.
So,
So,
Ms.
all
Seema,
right. I think I already have actually 45 responses from the audience for beta registration of this app. That is so overwhelming. It because there are so many, such huge demand. We will gradually reach out to all of you. It might take, a little time. Some people we might start reaching out tomorrow. Some people we might reach out maybe 3-4 days, but we will definitely reach out to you. That's an assurance. And meanwhile, please do join our WhatsApp community, so that if it takes time, and in meanwhile you have any queries, or you want to ask anything about the product, or about AI in general, about personalization in general, or
Mhm.
about the NEP in general, we are here to help you. So let's connect there, and work towards this vision of personalizing education and school ecosystem.
Varia sir, have you shared the feedback form?
yes,
Okay.
already shared in the chat box.
Okay, thank you.
I think one of the participant has a query. Yeah,
Yes, I would love to answer if there are any queries.
yeah, somebody
Please
has
go ahead.
raised the hand. Yeah,
I think it was by mistake.
okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
ఇది
yeah,
అసలు
it's
నీడ ప్రాబ్లం అన్నది ఉండదు
Ratnam.
Lakshmi,
Yeah,
Lakshmi,
Ratnam.
please go ahead.
Yeah, Lakshmi ma'am.
you can unmute and ask the queries.
Yes, Lakshmi ma'am, even you have raised your hand. Any queries? We have got really a great insight today how exactly we can do the survey of the concepts being taught in the classes, right? That was really a wonderful, Shweta ma'am, where you gave the teachers, which really we wanted at this moment, right?
Yes.
A very nice tool, I can say, where really teachers can utilize it, use it, as Shweta ma'am has shared with us. We can really use it, and then we can give the feedback and tell our management also that this is a useful app which we can go forward with.
Yes.
yes. Yeah, one thing I think I forgot to mention, that we would love to have your feedback. We have just launched this teacher version of Neo. So far, it was only for student. Now we have introduced it along with the teacher interface, and your feedback would be very, very crucial for us in helping us shaping it further. So do try it out. Fill out the beta registration form, try it out with your students, help us with the feedback, and we will we have a lot of interesting and exciting features actually lined up. The next feature that we are going to add in this is subjective paper evaluation, because we kind of figured out that it's a huge pain for a lot of teachers, taking the subjective answer sheets back home and then evaluating them. So we are right now working on a personalized assessment engine, where teachers can define their rubrics also, and they can, the system will automatically grade the subjective assessments as per their defined assessment rubrics. So it's a very, very interesting feature that's lined up. And for all the people who register, we will soon open that subjective wala feature as well for them to test it out.
Shweta, one is asking about the expenses to be incurred buying
So
this app?
good news here, because we are just launching, there is no expense associated to it right now, at least for next few months. So do try it out. Feel free to experiment. Just, it would only cost us your feedback. So do provide us your feedback. That's all we seek at this point of time. So yes, no financials involved.
We have one more query, Aparna ma'am. I think she's a primary grade teacher, and she wants to know, like, do we have some support for the primary students? So do we have some like the questions for the ready-made questions for the primary students also,
So
like the way we have
yeah,
it?
I got it. So Aparna ma'am, you know what? Like with lot of AI tools and the LLM, like you would know, like Gemini, ChatGPT, etc. Content is actually democratized. We have a team who is very well versed with the CBSE guidelines, and it will only take us a week to kind of curate very good quality content for any class. So right now, although we are in little higher segment, 6 to 10th and upwards, but if we get enough interest or enough pull for a primary segment, we will open it up like in a span of a couple of weeks. So if
Thank
you want, please go ahead and fill the form, ask your fellow teachers also. And if we get enough response for enough ask for the primary one, we will come up with that also very soon.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you so much for your input, and it was really a great informative session. I already registered, and I'll also make sure that my teachers' companions do it, because for primary school, like nowadays, children that age group, that 7 and 8 age group, 6 years to 8 years age group, which is coming to us, they are into that. Creative mind, and the learning more is on creativity
Right.
activities. So if we get any support there, it would be very helpful for us as well, being homeroom teachers. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's very true. In fact, we did get such queries earlier as well for primary one. I think there might be few teachers there who have given that feedback earlier, and we will definitely prioritize it. Just putting this back on a screen for some more time, because I think a lot of people are asking in chat for the link for registration. I think it got lost in the chat, so I will have this open for some like few more like 1 minute. You can scan this, or the link is also there in the chat. You can take the link from there and fill the beta registration form, and our team will reach out to you, help you with the account creation for the app.
Yeah. So let's conclude this event, sir. And thank you one and all for joining today's session. And I'm hopeful that this session will be very much useful. Not only the session, but the application, the technology that is being shared here will be useful to the teachers. We can stop the recording and we can then continue with Q&A if at all it is there. Ratnam sir, yes, you can ask.